My grandfather, he witnessed me being sexually abused many times. And his response was that I liked it. He witnessed my sexual abuse between the ages of 6 and 7 years old. This dude named L.B. Wheaton from Bradley, he would come over to our house. I was like 6 years old. And then grab me out of my home and sit down right there in the living room now. In the living room. Beside my grandfather. And get a blanket or a sheet or a towel and put it across my lap and sit there and bless me right there in front of my grandfather. And my grandfather would look, when I look at him, and he would just look away. He never ever said anything to him. And then when he leaves, and he said something like, don't cry and all that kind of stuff. You liked it. You wanted it. Not only LB, is this other man from Bradley. All of this happened in Bradley, so I don't have to keep on saying Bradley. This man that we call Old Man Moses. At the same age now, all this happened between ages 6 and 7. We went over to this lady's house that's named Dorothy Reed. She had this big old white house right there in front of the grocery store. In front of the Gore's grocery store. And Moses, Old Man Moses, he grabbed my arm and he dragged me to the side of the house, pointing towards the grocery store so that whoever went into this grocery store can see the whole thing. And Mrs. Gore and the person working with her, they all could see the molestation. And Old Man Moses would molest me. He would stick his hand in between my pants and hurt me down there. And keep on saying, when you going to give me some? When you going to give me some? And then I looked around in this shoulder here and looked at my grandfather, and he did like this. And again, he said I liked it. I wanted it. So one time I remember one time that when he was taking us down Miss Dorothy Reed's house, I said to myself, that man not going to grab me again. That man not going to grab me. And I was saying that out loud, so my brother that's 2 years younger than me, he said, yeah. My brother said, yeah, you play with us and you stay with us. And that's what I did. But we were playing for so long and got so comfortable. I remember what we were doing. The boys and I, we were up there looking at some black ants traveling from the ground to up that big old tree. Out of nowhere, Old Man Moses grabbed me by my left arm. I could still feel I'm 50, and I was like 7. When I say this, I can still feel his hand on my wrist. And he dragged me to the side of the house, right? And Miss Dorothy Reed, this what she said to stop it. She said, don't you go back there, back of that house with that man. You know exactly what he wants to do. Yeah. She blamed me. And watching, each time he molested me now, she was there too now. She witnessed this too. Several times. She never said anything. But this one time, she said that don't you go back there because you know good and well what he wants to do. And it took him a few seconds. Then he let my arm go. Then I ran off. And my grandfather called me all kind of B-itch. An itch with the B at the front. So many times saying that I wanted it. That I liked it. That was my life. So I really didn't, it was no reason to repeat it to anybody, to tell any adult. All the adults in my life blame me. I mean, guys, I was from kindergarten to 2nd grade. I went through so much. I was still grieving for my mama. And my daddy abandoned me. So, from kindergarten to 2nd grade is when my grandfather witnessed my sexual abuse. My mix with the S. I don't want TikTok flag in my video. Because that I find that talking about it helps me. It feels as if that I'm not carrying the load. And I don't want anyone else who have been mixed with X sexually abused to feel as if they should carry the load. Even when everyone around you blames you. Because when I was growing up, if you could hear the inside our home, you wouldn't have thought that my name was Ramonda. You would have thought my name would itch with a B. Starting very young. And the teachers and the students at school, they was wondering, like, why I was quiet, why I was all to myself. I'm shaking now. I'm shaking. Because if you don't find the right help, that stuff stays with you. It stays with you. I forgot to tell about this time when L.B. Wheaton, he came up to the house, and I was walking out of my bedroom, and there was a knock on the door. Of course, being so young, I didn't know who was at the door. My grandfather went to answer the door, but suddenly my grandfather turned around and said, "You know good and well what he wants to do, so run through the back door." So they got me where they knock on my door. I'm scared. Knock on my door. I keep my front room doors locked. I keep all my doors locked. I keep all my windows locked till this day. I'm not opening my door without knowing who that is. If you're a man, you speaking to me through the window if I'm not expecting you to come over. Because people come fix your pipes or whatever. Usually are men. I ran through that back door. And my little mind, I thought I was being hidden we had sheets and stuff on the clothesline. Then come to think about it, he couldn't help but to see like my feet, or at least if he had came back there. But LB never did walk to the backyard. And that day, he didn't do anything because that he thought I wasn't at home. And then one night, he came over. And my 3 brothers, they say, Shay, go inside the room and we're going to put the cover on the clothes on top of you. So I climb into the bed. And my little brothers, now I was like 6. That means that the oldest brother in the household was just 8. And my other was 4 and 3. My 3 brothers went and got a whole lot of clothes and threw it on top of me. And I could still see a little bit through the clothes. My 8-year-old brother, he stood at the door like he was on guard. And LB came down the hallway and said, "Where's Shay?" And my brother said, "I don't know. She's not here." Yeah. Yeah. And during all this time, LB was dating my auntie. And he would come over when he knew that she wasn't there, as if she would have protected me, but in his mind that he couldn't do it when she was there. She probably wouldn't have protected me. But yeah. And I found out later on reason why they broke up, because he said that she gave him an STD. Who cares? I'm just saying. And just a few years ago, I seen LB walking down the road. I pulled up beside him. I said, LB, I remember what you did to me when I was 7. I remember what you did to me. I haven't forgotten. And he said, what you talking about? I said, I told him. And then he just looked, I don't know what you're talking about. Of course that you don't confront your abusers thinking they're going to take responsibility or anything. But I was just letting him know I still remember what you did to me. He's walking around and he's really like he on drugs real bad. I can't run the man over.